This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, along with my co-host, halfway around the world, the Primus, Tim Hendricks. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. I'm excited coming off of that Thursday,
you're on mute, buddy.
Draft day special. We're good.
Yeah, exactly. You're pulling a couple of double duties here. You know, been on the show for draft coverage, and then the draft coverage. You and myself and Crispy Bacon did a great job. Thanks for J-Mac for joining us and breaking down the picks as they watched them live.
And our big game, James, glad he got the chance to hop on. And that's probably one of the best times I've had on draft coverage in a while.
Yep. No, it's always fun to share out and get the gang together and just sit there and picks. It's always fun to watch things as a group. I mean, yeah, once in a while, I enjoy just sitting and watching the game by myself or something like that. But if you can get a little party together, and because everybody's got different perspectives of things and stuff, so it's always great to get that out there. So, but with that being said, scrolling on the bottom, we got some where you can catch us Facebook and Instagram and all that. Also, this Saturday, May 4th, be with you. The Brew games are coming. J-Mac and the guys are going to be having live coverage of that. If you guys don't know what it is, it's cornhole, beanbags, some people call it. This past Saturday, Oregon Cougars football was on. Game one, they won 22-6, I believe it was. Very, very good game, good defensive battle for the first half, and then the Cougars took advantage of some mistakes and came away with the W. So, but with that being said, April, today's the last day of April, so we're going to do some birthdays. So with that being said, we're going to start with the third. So with that, Tim, I say we got I say one for sure. I think we got three. I'm gonna go three on the limb here.
Three on a limb. Okay. I'm thinking four, but I'm really scared of the four. I don't know. I have a feeling it's a curveball, but I don't know. I don't know.
I'm kind of torn. But I see one glaring name that has to be on both. There's two, but I think one big one has got to be on the list. So
I think there's three big ones on this. If they're not on our list, we're kind of screwed up.
Yeah. So all right. So you get us started.
All right. So I'm going to use a she, and I'm going to think this might be a curveball. If it isn't, then I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. She is a daughter of a very, very famous musician, but she's also starting to get into TV series, and so she's become an actress. But a lot of people remember her for her dad, Her dad being one of the greatest of all time in music. I think we've actually done. I think we've actually done a top 5 list of songs from this artist in the past. But she's trying to step out from her father's shadow, who we lost at least 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. I could be wrong.
No, not you.
Not me. I'm good for getting one wrong at least a week at this point. But her father is the former king of pop, Michael Jackson. My number 5 is his daughter, Paris Jackson.
Wow. I guess I missed that one. Wow, that is a curveball. I didn't realize she was trying to be in acting.
Oh yeah, I think she's been in. I think she's done one of the American Horror Stories, if I'm not mistaken. But I've seen some of her stuff.
Okay, yeah, it looks like
not bad. She's actually a really good actress.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see here something Yeah, American Horror Story she was in. Of course, she's been on pretty much every
documentary her father's been in.
Yeah. But films, she was in Gyro, Space Between, Habit, Sex Appeal, and a movie coming out, One Spoon of Chocolate debut. And hopefully I'm not covering that as a Four Bros topic, but
no. You should be good. You should be good. You might still cover it. You still might cover it, but I'm no.
So it's not Four Bros, it was Bro Code, and of course I wanted to be on last night. I was just too tired because I got something to get off my chest, and that's a good show to get out things off your chest. So anyway, my number 5, we got to, we have one model, well, we have 2 models, but this one is not the sniping model. This one is, somebody's got to be the first, and I got the first African American basketball player, Earl Lloyd, as my number 5.
That's your curveball.
All right,
we do have first. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, you're number 4.
So, oh man, now I'm going to start. People are going to start wondering because you're going to go, why do you have him so low? Because I think you're going to have him at about number 2. I'm calling my shot. I'm calling my sniping shot.
Okay.
I'm calling my sniping shot right now.
Okay.
Probably one of the funniest guys to have made movies. It's funny because I just downloaded a movie 4 movies where he actually is the voice in these movies. But he's also got this big, huge claim to fame is that he is the youngest person to have ever been a cast member on Saturday Night Live. Back in 1983, he was 19 years old. And you're right, number 2, right? Gotcha.
Okay, go ahead.
But
I didn't realize he was the youngest one, though.
Youngest one. Yeah, he was 19 when he got picked up by Lorne Michaels for Saturday Night Live. Most people remember him for Coming to America. The first one, I've seen the second one. That one wasn't all that great.
Oh, really? I mean, it was not as good as the first one. I mean,
no, the first one's the first one's a masterpiece. And the fact is, now Netflix is getting the 4th Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. But most kids know him these days as Donkey from the Shrek movies. All 4 of the Shrek movies. My number 4 is Eddie Murphy.
Wow.
Number 2. You have him number 2, right? Number 2.
Wow.
Number 2.
All right, my number. Well, he is on my list. I will. My number 4 is another actor, and honestly, we could say he's the first because I know his brothers are acting, but I think he's the most popular one. Can be funny, can be serious. Saw some good things he's in, but I saw some awful stuff he's been in, and that's one Alec Baldwin.
It sucks that he's not going to be in Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's gonna be more of a dark though, Beetlejuice.
That's going to be. I think it's going to be awesome.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's just me.
Number 3.
My number 3. We started this new motto last week with the phrase that pays. But the true phrase that pays is, it's not 2C unless you're sniping. My number 3 is your number 4.
Oh wow! You have Eddie Murphy behind Alex Baldwin. Are you like the Atlanta Falcons right now? And of all right, my number 3, another actor. And I probably have seen some of his clips. As a matter of fact, I know I have because I think he was in The Godfather. Outside that, you know the name, and I put him on number 3, kind of, because I always get called the nickname. My nickname is Brando. Not after this, but my number 3 is Marlon Brando. Your number 2.
I feel like the Minnesota. I feel like we're gonna bring Thursday up. I feel like the Minnesota Vikings, when New England Patriots decided to draft Drake May, because it's not C2C unless we're sniping. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. My number 2. Take that back.
Yeah, your number 2.
My number 2. I don't know why I decided to say what I was going to say, but I'm just because I was ahead of myself.
Okay.
My number 2. Funny thing is, I downloaded this movie too. There's a great Vegas movie from that stars Chevy Chase. And Vegas Vacation. There's a great.
Ooh, who did I miss on that one?
And his wife, Clark's wife, has this thing for this entertainer in Las Vegas.
No.
And she knew she was making a mistake when she was invited to dinner at his house outside Las Vegas. He's been in a lot of movies, but he's never played anybody but himself. And if you've played Fallout New Vegas, he's actually in Fallout New Vegas as the voice of Mr. Vegas. My number 2 is Tiny Bubbles himself, Mr. Wayne Newton.
Oh, how did I miss that one? Wow, that is a good. That's not a miss as Tony Gwynn miss, or that could be on his birthday. But yeah, Wayne Newton's a big miss. I really overlooked that one because.
Hold on, I might have screwed this up. We know how I mess up names.
No, his birthday's the 3rd. His birthday's the 3rd.
Oh, you double checked me on this. Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to make sure. I'm just like, really, I missed that, but yeah. I don't know how I missed that one because that name should have jumped out at me.
It was a big picture on our normal site too.
How did I miss that one?
Exactly how you missed that one.
I'm gonna have to go look at that. But my number 2 is a lady who mid-90s.
Who did I miss?
Was in a TV show that I know I watched religiously. They rebooted it. I kind of watched the reboot a little bit, did not like it. And then they did a reboot of the reboot to kind of bring them back together.
Did I miss Rose?
It's a high school series, Beverly Hills 90210, Jenny Garth.
I saw that one on there.
Yeah. All right, you're number 1.
So I know who your number 1 is at this point. I was picking up a little wrong. But yet, I'm going to, I kind of alluded to it on my number 2. It's the phrase that pays, the whole C2C. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 1 is your number 3. Marlon Brando. I saw Brando, and the first thing is like I remember the psychotic person he played in Apocalypse Now.
Yep.
To me, my favorite Brando movie is On the Waterfront.
Okay.
God, I watched that movie. Carl Malden, and Marlon Brando. I don't know if anybody's watched that movie, but it's a black and white movie from 1956.
Okay.
Absolutely Marlon Brando at his best. Absolute. It's better than Godfather.
Okay.
But then again, I'm not a Godfather fan, so we're not making.
I'm not either, but I mean, they got some good actors in there. But my number one, phrase that pays. We're starting it off. Eddie Murphy, funniest guy around. I can watch Delirious. I can watch Raw, over and over again, back to back. I can watch, like you said, Coming to America 2. Which honestly, I gotta say, Coming to America 2, even though they did do it back to back years, I think it has to be one of the best sequels to a movie in a long time. It's one of those where typically a sequel bombs, but this one I think did really good, and I can't wait for. And I don't know if it's out yet, but not Lethal Weapon, Beverly Hills Cop 4. I can't wait for that one.
I think it's June. I think it's June.
I think he's coming back as a retired cop, but his son's in the force now or something.
Yeah.
So no, I can't wait for that one. All right, so we got 3. Should have been 4 because I don't know how I missed, especially if it was one of the big pitches. I don't know how I missed Wayne Newton. I do not know how I did that. Because he would have been up there. I probably would not have put. Actually, I probably would not have put Alec Baldwin on there if I would have put.
We would have still had 3. So either way, you look at it.
So all right, so we're moving to number 5. This one was kind of interesting. I have a feeling that we're going to go with. We should have a guaranteed 1 on there. Yeah. I don't feel comfortable with my other 4. I'm going to go 1. I'm going to go 1.
1, 2's a possibility, but I really.
If we get more than 2, it's because we know how we both think.
Exactly.
So, all right. So I get to start.
You get to start.
Yep. So again, the second phrase that pays for us is got to be the first at something. So I'm going to be the next one here again for the second listen in a row. I got the first African American to be put on a stamp, and that's one Booker T. Washington.
I saw that one. I did. I really saw that one.
And I thought that would be the one you would put on there. Yeah, obviously you must not have if you said, "Oh, I saw that one."
I saw that one, and he would have been if we went 10, which would have been tough at 10.
I think we would have had a tough time finding 10 though on some of these dates. So, all right, you're number 5.
I'm going to a guy. Funny thing is, you brought up an African American at 5. I'll bring up an African American at 5.
Okay.
He came into prominence during the George Bush Sr. term, his term during the Iraqi Shield operation. Okay. But everybody remembers Schwarzkopf, but most people also remember this guy, one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under George Bush Sr. I think he ended up becoming a Secretary of State under Junior. Passed away not too long ago. I want to say 7-8 years ago. Of course, I estimate because I could be wrong. That could be like the fourth. It could be like our fourth motto. Tim could be wrong. But my number 5 is the former general of the Army, Mr. Colin Powell.
Ooh, number 5. Okay. All right. He's definitely a big name out there. My number 4, we got together, met back in the day at a nightclub. I want to say I did play this group a little bit. I actually saw these guys on my birthday a few years ago when they were doing the 90s tour with Vanilla Ice. I'm trying to think of the other people on that tour, but Vanilla Ice was the headliner. And I guess when they toured together, they always did a rap battle. Ice and these guys. You see them in acting in House Party and stuff like that. And it's one half of Kid and Play, Christopher Reed, aka Kid.
House Party was good. I liked the
House
movie.
Party was great. It started staling out though when they went to House Party 2, House Party 3, House Party 4.
It was okay. 3 kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But that's
Right.
where basically Martin Lawrence came out of nowhere because of Kid House Party 1.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, you're number 4.
So not my number 4. I'm going to take all my shot here at this point. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to guess he's your number 1. Wrestler, former wrestler from WCW, used to come out to a kind of a rip-off version of Smells Like Teen Spirit. I believe me, I double-checked if I didn't see his name. And then was actually the guy when he went to WWF/E after the merger. He was the guy that was stalking Undertaker's wife in one of the arcs. Don't you got to look like I've screwed up.
No way.
Well, that was the one I thought you had. But has his claim to fame, and I think he's actually a lot more proud of this, that he is the guy that has turned around a lot of his friends. Jesse Ventura, not that Jesse Ventura, he should try to turn around Jesse Ventura. But Jake the Snake Roberts, I think if it wasn't for my number 4, I don't think we would have had Scott Hall as long as we did, and is now trying to fix one Marcus Buff Bagwell with his DDP yoga. My number 4 is Diamond Dallas Page.
All right, number 4. All right. Now I was looking up something else. Somebody was texting me, but yeah, the phrase that pays, Diamond Dallas Page at number 3. Yeah, that guy's done a lot, and honestly, with my health and stuff like that, I should really get in touch with Diamond Dallas Page. I mean, it's not as serious as some of these guys, so I know he wouldn't take his time to mentor me, but if I could, I would. Like you said, Scott Hall, Jake the Snake. There was also another kid but a man who I want to say was a service guy and couldn't walk and stuff, and people were giving up on him. And DDP took him under his wing and got him walking and stuff and running and stuff like that. But no, he's doing great work. I did not know he was working with Bagwell. I saw Bagwell working out, but he is definitely very, very, very proud that he's done this yoga. And he never, if you watch some of the documentaries, Diamond Dallas Page did not want nothing to do with yoga because his ex-wife Kim Page,
right,
was always doing yoga. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. And they started doing that, and then at the end of his wrestling career, he really got into it. And so if anybody's out there,
look him up. Don't be afraid to look him up.
I would definitely want to sit down and just talk to him.
Well, the funny thing is, did you get a chance to watch? And I don't know, most people knew this. That did you get a chance to watch Dark Side of the Ring about Bam Bam Bigelow?
I have not yet.
Watch that. I recommend watching it,
okay.
And especially when you find out that Diamond Dallas Page and Bigelow grew up in the same neighborhood, and they knew each other, and they were almost best. They were like really close best friends when they were growing up. Because Diamond Dallas Page was a bouncer. Because Page is older than Bigelow.
Yeah,
and
Page started bouncing, and then at 35 became a wrestler.
Right, and Bigelow
everybody thought he was crazy.
Yeah, and Bigelow used to come in underage, Page does nothing but glowing and the most admirable things to say about Bigelow, because find out that Bigelow is actually a teddy bear outside the ring
Yeah.
is kind of strange.
Yeah, somebody, I've heard a lot of reports of that. So, all right, you're number 2.
My number 3, because you just did 3.
Oh, yeah, all right, you're number 3.
My number 3, and it's funny that this guy, I've seen a lot of his stuff. I admire a lot of his stuff. He's an older actor. I made a joke when I was in Rome last year that I'm a lot like this actor. I get to be where, and the funny thing is, I brought his name up specifically when I was next to Trevi Fountain, and I said, "Wow, think of this: Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck were standing right here, almost 80 years ago, 60, 70 years ago," and I'm like, and it's crazy. And you see the stuff that he's done. He's played Atticus Finch. He's played a North by Northwest. He actually, if I'm not mistaken, he's played a lot of amazing things. I think we've had him on our list a couple times for Oscar winning, on our Oscar winners list in a top 5. My number 3 is Gregory Peck.
Okay. My number 2 actor that I've seen, and I think I think he's found his right role, but I don't think people respect him enough for his acting abilities. And I'm trying to think of the TV show my wife watches that I'm almost positive this guy is in. I know I've seen him in quite a few films, and right now it's just not dawning on me what he's in. But my number 2 is Sterling K. Brown.
He was just nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, I think he's in
he was on Law and Order for a little bit.
Law and Order, and then there's a family one that he was an adopted kid on.
Was he in Just Us?
Just Us, yeah. I think it's Just Us. I think it is.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I've heard nothing but great things about him.
Yeah, my wife.
I've been watching. What else? I just saw him in something. I've been watching old episodes of Person of Interest.
Yep, yeah, and he was in the People versus O.J. Simpson.
Right. As Durden?
O.J.'s buddy, I think. I don't think
he
it was
played Al Collins.
I think so. He might have played the lawyer. I can't remember. It's been a while.
He looks like a Charles Durden. That's why I kind of think
that might be who he played. So, all right, you're number 2.
My number 2, Kim Carnes sang a song about her, an actress. I'm pulling old stuff out at this point.
Yeah,
when I saw the old stuff, I was like, okay, this is awesome, because Brandon's not going to have these people, and I can sneak out if you're not getting sniped. But she's absolutely phenomenal. Some of her older stuff. And matter of fact, I think she's actually been in a movie with Gregory Peck, My Number 1, and Marlon Brando. Not at the same time. Of course not. But my number 2 is Betty Davis.
I saw her on there, and I don't know why I didn't put her on there. And I was going to, and I'm just like, no. I don't have a reason why I didn't. 6, she would have been on. My number 1, though, the phrase that pays, and I'm actually I can't wait to hear who your number 1 is, because to me, when I saw this name, he had to have been on the list at number 1, and that's one Colin Powell. So,
I didn't think you had Colin. I honestly didn't think you had Colin Powell.
Yeah.
I thought I snuck Colin Powell in there.
Yeah, no, you're number 1.
My number 1. I'm going to pull the Homer card. I'm pulling the true Homer card, because this actor is from the great state of Wisconsin.
Hornswoggle.
What? Who?
Hornswoggle.
Yeah, Hornswoggle. I don't know. I think we have Hornswoggle on our list already.
Yeah.
And
I hope I get to meet the little guy here soon.
Hopefully, you should see what's going on at Upermania. Holy smokes! You should go look at UPW on Facebook and look who they've got. They've got LAX. They've got Ken Anderson. It's crazy. But that doesn't have any bearing to do with my number 1. It's kind of funny that I brought up Audrey Hepburn in number 3, working with Gregory Peck. Well, I'm bringing up Katharine Hepburn's husband, where she was always in this movie with Katharine Hepburn. And I love another actor I have absolutely the most respect for, and to come from the state of Wisconsin just doubles my admiration, and I love everything he does. And people are going to go, but Humphrey Bogart's not from Wisconsin. You're right, he's not. My number 1 is Spencer Tracy.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I get the homework card, but man, I can't believe you have Colin Powell. I have 5. That really shocked me there. You know, I thought for sure you would add him up at least 3.
And the funny thing is, it's like me being so big.
I knew I was getting sniped. I knew I was getting sniped with Colin Powell, but I thought for sure. Well, no, if I would have went first, I would have sniped you at 1. But I thought if you had him anywhere, not 1, I was getting sniped.
Right.
But 5, I was shocked.
Yeah, I already, by the time I've started my list, I'm like, wow, look, Spencer Tracy. Oh man, this is awesome. I thought I was just gonna fill this whole list out. I'm like, wow, Spencer Tracy, Betty Davis, Gregory Peck. I'm going, I could lose all 3 of these.
Yeah.
And then it just died. This is like, wow.
Yeah, there's another date on here too that I just had a hard time figuring out. All right, so let's go to the 7th. Yeah, I kind of had that. You know, I'm gonna say a strong. Oh man, I'm gonna say a strong 3, but I can go. I can see 4.
I could see 4.
And I got a name. I put an asterisk. I got an asterisk name on here because I just wanted to see if you have them on here. Because I almost put them on here for.
I'm going to ask this question. Are you doubled up anywhere?
No, not at all today.
3. We're solid 3 at this point because my number 6 would have been a double up.
Ooh. Okay. All right, go ahead. Kick it off.
My number 5 is an Oscar award-winning actor. I've seen him in a ton of things. He's played Father Aberforth in a movie called The Pope's Exorcist. My wife wanted to watch this movie because she has met the person. She has met Father Aberforth, the person that my number 5 is portraying. And she's like, oh. The funny thing is, you see him driving around Rome in a Vespa, and he never rode a Vespa. Just hilarious. He's done a lot of things absolutely magnificently. The first time I saw this guy was in a little movie called Gladiator. Real small movie. Real small movie.
Yeah.
Didn't win any Oscars at all. Wasn't the biggest movie of the year. But my number 5 wins the Oscar for his role in Gladiator. My number 5 is Russell Crowe.
Oh, I did see the name on there.
And he was and the screwed up thing is, he's going to be in Varese in May.
Yeah.
Him and his band are going to be in Varese in May.
Him and his band. He's music. Okay.
Yeah, you got to remember, he also owns a rugby team in Australia too.
All right. So my number 5, we're going in the square circle, but we're going boxing style. Because I believe this guy's biggest match is when, and I know I'm without looking, I believe he's the one that took down Tyson. I could be wrong on that, but
you son of a bitch.
One James Buster Douglas.
You son of a bitch.
All right.
I'm gonna cry. I figured you had him higher. Okay.
You're number 4.
My number 4. I'm going to the gridiron.
Okay.
I'm going to a guy who was a Heisman Trophy winning running back from the University of Pittsburgh. His claim to fame is to have won Super Bowls for a certain team that has Crispy Bacon's favorite star on the helmet, and has also shared the backfield with a guy who was traded to a team that had Viking on the helmet.
Yeah.
And then he leaves said Dallas Cowboys, and I'm not talking about Herschel Walker. Ben DiNucci. But then goes to Denver of all places, which I thought was hilarious. Think about if this guy had actually stayed 2 more years, he could have played. And if he'd have stayed 2 more years at Pittsburgh, he could have played with Dan Marino. And how many national championships would the University of Pittsburgh have?
I had to think for a second there, like, Dan Marino only played for Miami. I'm just like, wait a minute.
Okay, there, Isaiah. That's the reason why Pittsburgh wanted Dan Marino because he played for Pittsburgh. He played for University of Pittsburgh. But my number 4 is number 33 himself in the Dallas Cowboys, Mr. Tony Dorsett.
All right. My number 4, I go acting. I go to a series that I watched growing up, and I think still to this day has the best numbers or the most watched finale ever. I don't know if anybody's come close, but I could be wrong on that. But at the time, this was the most watched finale, and the iconic scene is the chopper leaving, and it says goodbye, I believe, on it. And this is MASH, Capital Trapper, a.k.a. Wayne Rogers.
I don't think he finished the series. I think
I don't think he finished the series, but he was definitely part of that.
I think his role is when he went back stateside, his plane crashed into the ocean. That I don't think it's anybody's touched it, which is strange.
Yeah.
For this day and age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I kind of want to, and one thing is like some people that have been through, serious war like that. I kind of want to just sit down and see how accurate that TV series was. What went on?
Well, the funny thing is because that was Korea, and that was my dad. And to be honest, it's one of my dad's favorite series, and my dad was in Vietnam.
Yeah.
He says it's not far off.
Okay.
He's never been in a MASH unit like that.
Yeah.
It's not far off.
Yeah. All right, you're number 3.
Just so I can precursor this, son of a bitch.
So we're going with this phrase.
Yeah, that one. It's the 14th phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 3. Oh, golly. When you said James Buster Douglas, I thought about dying. My number 3 is James Buster Douglas. Yeah, he's the guy that knocked freaking Tyson on his ass, and he's in Tokyo.
And I think that's honestly his biggest fight because that's the only fight I can remember him in.
He lost because he lost like the following fight against Evander Holyfield.
Yeah. All right. So my number 3, the guy's been around forever. It seems like. I know I've seen some movies with him in it.
Oh, for the love of God!
My number 3 is James Gardner.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting.
Oh,
I was not expecting that.
Okay.
All right. Okay. My number 2, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched the Rush Hour movies?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My brother loves watching my number 2. Absolutely, especially the Legend of Drunken of the I can't remember the name of these movies, but I've seen so many between him and Chris Tucker. In the Rush Hour movies, him and Owen Wilson in the Shanghai movies. It was weird the one time that I actually saw him play a bad guy. It threw me for a loop. I want to say it was the Dragon Ball movie. Movie sucked as it was, so it didn't really make much of a difference. And I'm not a big Dragon Ball fan, but the fact is that it was that fact is my number 2 was going to play a villain, and I thought I'm watching it. My number 2 is Jackie Chan.
Okay. My number 2, the phrase that's paid at least 7 times up to date. Number 33 himself, Tony Dorsett. I figured you'd had him a little bit higher, but all right, you're number 1. I can't wait to see this one.
My number 1. It was kind of strange. It was kind of funny when you brought up Marlon Brando and you brought up The Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know anything about the director of The Godfather, he was best friends with George Lucas at UCLA. They were in the same filmmaking class together. Most people, this guy is the reason why Nicolas Cage changed his name from Nicholas Coppola to Nicolas Cage. His daughter has become a director. One of his nieces were in the Rocky series, of movies. She was Talia Shire, but he has won, I believe, 1 or 2 Oscars. I'm probably going to say 1 to be safe. My number 1 is Francis Ford Coppola.
Okay, I did see the name on there. So my number 1, the phrase that pays, is your number 2, Jackie Chan. Yeah, the only movie that I seen him in that I'm not going to say I disliked. They just remade it, and they just and I respect that they went out and asked the cast or the Machio if they could redo it, but they really butchered it, I think, and that was the Karate Kid.
Because they made it a kung fu movie. They didn't make it a comedy. They taught him kung fu.
Outside of that, it was a great movie. I just was disappointed that they really just butchered it. With that being said, Jackie Chan. So we got 3. We're kind of rolling around there.
Okay, so who is your asterisk guy?
So I was scrolling through, and I saw the name Joey Gallo, and I thought maybe you would have put him on there. Yeah, and I was going to put him on there just because the fact that it was Joey Gallo and it was a mobster, and I'm like, yeah, he's playing a mobster now in the MLB because he's just stealing money from people.
My double up
would have had him on there.
My double up at 6 would have been Rondé and Tiki Barber.
I did see them. I thought about putting them on there. I saw Rondé. I didn't see Tiki. I'm like, aren't they?
It was Rondé, then another guy, then Tiki right below that.
Oh, that's why I missed it. Okay.
And then and then I almost put Will Keith Kellogg.
Okay.
But that was a big picture. I'm going, why do I need to put this one on there? And I realized that he's the founding father of Kellogg's.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know I had. Okay, I gotta get up on my mail here. I'm sorry. Get sidetracked here. All right. So with that being said, let's go into the 13th. Let's see here. I start, but I'm just trying to think here. I had a hard time on this one, so I think I got some curveballs here. I know I got 1 for sure curveball that if you get it, I'm going to just be just like flip. Yeah, I'm going 1, but I could see 2.
I've got 2 curveballs.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going 1 for sure. And I can't even guarantee it's number 1 because you've been throwing curveballs at me on number 1s here.
Oh, wait, because one of my curveballs sits at its spot for a certain reason.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, I start. So I'm going to start with my curveball. This is probably the first time we are announcing this sport on our TV show here. She is an Olympian in 2000 or no 92 and 96. She's from the great state of Minnesota, so it's the homer card on
Oh, you
my
did
end
that.
here.
You played the Homer card. Oh
Um,
man.
I'm going with the goalie on the Olympic handball team,
Oh,
Tammy Lynn Jameson.
handball. No, I don't got that one. You're
I
right.
thought there'd be a slim chance you would have tried to snipe me on this one and put her on there, but I'm like, well, I'm going first, so he can't snipe me. But if we have it together, it's going to be on number 5. So,
No.
all right, go ahead.
All right. Remember, I just said that I have a person, one of my curveballs at a certain spot for a certain reason.
Yeah.
This is the spot.
Okay.
My number 5 is a singer.
Okay.
When I looked it up and his picture shows up, I'm going, okay, I got to pick this one at this point because his picture showed up.
Okay.
And I didn't realize he was from Munich, Germany, which is even stranger because he's known in the United States and he has a song about like 19 billion different girls in there. But the reason why I put him at number 5 is because of his song Mambo Number 5. My number 5 is Lou Bega.
God, are you really that lame? All right. So my number 4. I'm sorry. I'm a number 5 because he's wow. My number 4 is a former Buffalo Bill, former NXT wrestler. I don't think he had a stellar career in both, but I think his wrestler career was a little bit better. And that's one Monty Brown.
Oh, Monty Brown. Oh my God. I didn't even know he wrestled. Yeah. That's how bad that is.
I know. I had to look too. I'm like, wrestler, who is he? And I saw him. I'm like, oh yeah, he had a pretty decent career. All right, your number 3.
4.
God, I'm off.
Number 4. All right. I've got a lot of old stuff for some reason on this one because this was one when
there was a lot of oldies on here.
It was just tough. The reason why I remember this guy is because of the Paul Newman Robert Redford movie, which has my number 4 character's name in it. I don't know much about him, but the fact is that his name was he was in one of them big boxes again. And I remember him from that movie. And it's so sad is when you find out they actually die at the end of that movie. Oh, so you know which one I'm talking about. Cool. So this is going to be easy for you. My number 4 is Butch Cassidy.
I saw the name on there too. I did. So my number 3, if I can count right, and I'm going to play off and then I put this guy here at number 3 because he's a third, but I did. I just, golfer, when he was in his prime, they kept comparing him to everybody else, and then he kind of just fell off the earth. But my number 3 is the third, the Davis Love the third.
I saw that one. Now that I saw that one, I'm thinking, and I put Lou Bega at number 5. I should have taken Davis Love the third.
All right, you're number 3.
My number 3 has played Hellboy. Has done narration for Fallout TV or Fallout video games. But I remember him a lot more for Sons of Anarchy, where he plays the head of Sam Crow. But then I've seen him in the third Alien movie. So I have a reason for him being at number 3 because he was in the third Alien movie. Not really why I put him there. But he was also in the second Blade movie. And I didn't realize he was that old when I when I noticed it. But my number 3 is Ron Perlman.
God, why do that name like doesn't it rings a bell, but it doesn't ring a bell. I don't know. Anyways, my number 2,
Curveball.
the phrase that pays. You had him at number 5 because of his song. I have him at number 2 because I just do. Lou Bega. And that's honestly the only song I know he's
It's
done.
the only one I know too. So
I mean, you talk about one-hit wonders. I mean, he's definitely it.
yeah.
So, all right.
All
So
right.
you're number 2.
My number 2. I'm not sure if we've ever had the grand champion of chess on any of our lists.
No. So
I don't think
this is
we
a first.
have.
We need to get Callan to make us this is a first. Somebody has to be the first at something. Well, I guess grand champion's not the first. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, yeah, he's not the first, but it's the first time they've showed up on any of our lists. A Russian grand champion. The reason, matter of fact, I'm thinking that he's the chess master that went up against IBM's Big Blue. And I think he lost the Big Blue, if I'm not mistaken. A Russian chess player. My number 2 is Gary Kasparov.
Okay. All right. So I'm at 1. All right. I'm at number 1 here, and we can't say he's the first, but he's the third. And no, it's not David Sloan third, but we're going the third U.S. President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson.
I was wondering if you put him up there. I was hoping you did.
All right, you're number 1.
My number 1, we got this silly thing called the phrase that pays. One half of the authors of the Declaration of Independence, between him and John Adams. If I didn't have an English teacher that loved showing 1776 every time she had a chance, I would be crazy. My number 1 is Thomas Jefferson, just like your number 1.
All right, yeah. I was kind of worried because you put, I figured you would have Colin Powell at number 1. You had him at 5. So I'm like, God, is he even going to have Jefferson up there? Because I was like, oh, maybe I missed somebody. But anyways, all right. So let's go to the 27th. So a couple of days ago, happy birthday to those that birthdays have passed now. So I got a sneaky curveball, but I could see you picking the same curveball if you have one. Outside of that, God, I actually looking at it, I got 2 curveballs, not major curveballs, but I'll go a solid 3. Yeah, I'll go with you on 3.
I like 3. I think I have 2 curveballs. I think I have 2 curveballs.
All right.
And so, I get to lead this party out. Sweet.
You get to lead this party out.
So, back in the old days, back in the wild west days, after the whole Pony Express and the whole Wells Fargo, a lot of that stuff, it took forever to send a message from one place, from one end of the country to the other, from one town to another. But then this gentleman creates something called the telegraph.
Okay.
And that's great, but how are you gonna talk on the telegraph? It's not like the telephone where you can't talk to the person. So this guy had to create something to go with the telegraph, and he created some code, as it were. And he was smart enough. He was smart enough. If he would have been smart, he would have copywritten it. And every time somebody says this code, that he would get paid. Especially when the military uses it and hides things. CIA and the FBI all teach their agents to kind of subconsciously do this if they're ever captured and they're shown on TV, with either their finger or with with their blinking. But my number 5 is the inventor of the telegraph and the creation of a certain code called the Morse code. My number 5 is Samuel Morse.
All right. At least you didn't have him there because his first code was the number 5 code or something. I mean, all right. My number 5 curveball. I think a lot of us enjoy his son's acting abilities in some movies. And I honestly didn't know this guy was actually pretty famous for singing. His son is named after him. So at number 5, I have father of Cuban Gooding Jr., his dad, Cuban Gooding Jr. Sr.
I didn't even see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You're number 4.
My number 4, you had on a list of famous people from Michigan, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Famous for having top 40, having a radio station dealing with top 40 music for the time.
Yep.
But most people don't remember that he did the voice of Robin on Super Friends when we were growing up. He was also the voice of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. And he also did some other stuff, but I always remember him for a top 40. Everybody seems to find a way to do an impersonation of him. But my number 4 is Casey Kasem.
Okay.
We're not getting 3.
My number 4,
We're not
a
getting
curveball, kind of.
We're not getting 3 at this point. The look on your face, we're not getting 3. We're not getting
No, I don't know. I mean, there's still a shot. I mean, I'm at 4 here, so there's still a shot at 3. But MLB pitcher, and I put him on the list. One, because I played with the guy that had the same name, and we always gave him crap because every time he had a bad outing, we said, "Oh, I bet you the other one would do better than you." So my number 4 is MLB pitcher from, I believe, St. Louis Cardinals for the most part of his career, and that's one Chris Carpenter.
I saw that one on the list too. I'm going to tell Greg. Right. I'm going to apologize to Greg now. I didn't put him on the list because I'm a Brewers fan.
All right, your number 3.
My number 3. I believe this is another guy. I think you actually had one on one of the state lists. Most people, again, I love nicknames, especially NBA stars who have nicknames. Yep. And he had the great one before the Admiral ever showed up at the San Antonio Spurs. But everybody tried to emulate his finger roll. I thought it's for the longest time, he had the sweetest finger roll in the NBA history.
I don't think anybody does the finger roll anymore.
Huh?
I don't think anybody does the finger roll anymore.
No, they don't. My number 3 is the Iceman himself, George Gervin.
No, I don't think I had him on the list. I don't think I did. But yeah, nobody does a finger roll. Nobody does a hook shot anymore.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah. So my number 3 is one half of a duel on a TV show that has been remade twice, I think. And I think they've done a movie of it. I could be wrong on the movie part, but I know it's been remade because Matthew Perry was part of the duel on the remake. And I used to enjoy watching this TV show. And my number 3, I got Oscar from The Odd Couple, Jack Klugman.
Yeah, I saw that one on the list. I saw him I used to see him in Odd Couple, Quincy. God, I hated Quincy. I was 8, 9 years old when Quincy was on. I was like, yeah, that's the time you knew. It seems like when my parents threw Quincy on, it was like, yeah, you knew at that point it was time for you to go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So you're number 2.
Holy smokes, we're definitely not getting 3.
Well, now if we're getting 2 already, or not.
Not if we're at 2 and we haven't hit 1 yet.
Nope.
My number 2, well, this is a show where somebody's got to be the first.
Okay. Who did I miss?
And it was strange because everybody remembers Amelia Earhart as being the
Yep.
first woman to cross the Atlantic.
Yep.
And I think when she went missing, she was trying to be the first woman to solo around the world.
Yep.
Well, I have the person who did solo around the world for the first time. My number 2 is Sheila Scott.
Okay. No, I did not see that one. All right. My number 2, the phrase that pays, is in play. The voice of Shaggy, the voice of Robin, the voice of the Top 40 Countdown, the voice of whatever else he did. That's one Casey Kasem. I'm surprised you had him lower. I thought for sure you'd have him up there. Your number 1.
Oh, this we get. Oh wow! I'm feeling sick to my stomach at this point. We know how I like to go after the older people. That sounded terrible. The moment it came out of my mouth is like, it's not that bad considering my wife is older than I am, so I kind of it's not.
This is at the 1 hour mark. We gotta get that clip. So go ahead.
My wife is older than I am, so it's not a false statement. I won't tell everybody how much older she is of me than she is, but she looks considerably a lot younger than I am.
She does look younger than you, yeah.
She does look a lot younger. But my number 1, since we decided to like presidents at the number 1 spot, and I've got a former Civil War general who wins the election after the Civil War. My number, I don't even know the number he was for of the president, and you probably have it written down just to tell me how much I don't know. My number 1 is Ulysses S. Grant.
The phrase that pays at number 1, Ulysses S. Grant, the 18th president of the United States.
Is that the one? That was the one right before Roosevelt, wasn't it?
I'm not a history major. I don't know. So at least we're getting 2s and 3s. These dates were kind of tough. I mean, this one I thought was the toughest one. So we're going today's birthdays.
We're going
today's birthday. So anybody that's born today, happy birthday!
And we're sorry.
Watching the show, these are the birthdays these are the people you share birthdays with. So
and I'm sorry. Just saying this. I'm sorry because this was terrible.
Honestly, I'm going 1.
1, and it's probably at 1.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Rip that band-aid. I might have no. You get to go first. So you get to put yourself in the hangman's noose right off the top.
Yep. So my number 5, NFL running back for Crispy Bacon's rival, the New York Giants. I think then he went to New England Patriots for a year or 2.
Oh yeah. He was a returner.
My number 5 is Dave Maggett.
I know he went to the Jets after that too.
Okay, maybe. Yeah.
He went to the Patriots, but he went to the Jets. Yeah. He was the punt returner for the Patriots when they lost to the Packers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right. You're number 5.
I kind of brought up a movie series when I was talking about Francis Ford Coppola. He died, I believe, last year. I might have said it was last year, but everybody remembers in the Rocky series that Rocky always had his best friend, Paulie, from Rocky. All I ever remember him is from Rocky, but I've supposedly seen him in other things, and people keep telling me, "Oh, you saw him in this." And he's one of those guys that outside of Rocky, he doesn't stand out.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
My number 5 is Burt Young. Like I said, Paulie from the Rocky.
All right. I just want to check something here.
Oh, don't tell me I screwed. No.
This will be on me. If I can spell his name right, because I want to. Actually, I'll do it this way. Sorry, Daytona 500. Okay, I can't find it. It's going to take too long. All right. So my number 4 is a 2-time Daytona 500 winner. I believe that's what I was trying to fact check quick.
I know who you're talking about.
Was it the year Earnhardt Senior died?
The first year he won it was the year that senior died.
Okay, all right. So ironically, it was the last one that I actually sat down and watched. I don't know why.
I missed that.
I got to watch the Daytona 500. I try to catch it every year here and there, but for some reason, I watched it from start to finish. And it had an iconic finish with my number 4 and Dale Earnhardt Jr. with senior kind of roadblocking everybody, so those two could battle out because they were teammates, and I think both were going for their first victory. I could be wrong on that.
It was Waltrip's first victory, but it was going to be both their first. It was going to be both of their first Daytonas.
Yeah. So yeah, my number 4 is Michael Waltrip.
Yeah, you went that way. Okay, cool.
All right.
It was tough. It was just tough to find anything, and I passed Michael.
It was.
I literally thought about going back to pick him up, and it was tough. My number 4. Okay, I had to make sure I remember what number I was at. My number 4. Her first movie was a little movie called The Interview with a Vampire with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. When your first on-screen kiss at 13 years old is with Brad Pitt, pretty much.
I think you've had her on another list because you made that comment before.
Yeah, probably have. And to think that your career goes downhill from there. When your first on-screen kiss is Brad Pitt. But most people remember her for playing Mary Jane Watson in the Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire.
Yep.
Absolutely trash acting in the third one, but she's done a lot of good stuff outside of that. My number 4 is Kirsten Dunst.
Okay. My number 3, I'm going acting world 2. I did not know this gentleman was from Belgium until I read his little bio. And I actually liked him in the TV series that I seen him in most watching in Roseanne. And then he went on to The Big Bang Theory, which he did pretty good in there too. I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm going to butcher his last name. I hope not, but Johnny Glasky.
You're going to kick yourself.
Okay.
You've seen him in other things. Just so we know, I'm going to say this right now.
I probably believe I have seen him.
You destroyed his name. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to say this now. We're going to say the phrase that pays.
Okay.
My number 3 is your number 3, and now I'm not going to butcher his name. Johnny Galicki.
Okay.
He was in Roseanne. Like you said, he was in a movie called In Time with Justin Timberlake and Amanda Seyfried. He was also, like you said, in the Big Bang Theory, but he was also in this movie that you have put on your Christmas movie list as a movie that you watch all the time.
Christmas Vacation.
He's on Christmas Vacation. He plays Rusty in Christmas Vacation.
Oh God! Yes. Yes, I like I said, I know I've seen him in other things, and when you said Christmas, I'm like, oh, that's right, he's in Christmas Vacation. He's Rusty. He doesn't look like him.
No. When my wife saw him too, she's like, that doesn't look anything like Hostetler, and I'm like, no, he doesn't.
No, but no. So all right, so. Yeah, I just like that one part where Rusty, you gotta take all these lights out and check them out. Oh, I gotta go do homework. I gotta feed the dog.
I gotta pick up the garbage. I gotta feed the cows. I gotta.
All right, the phrase that pays at number 2 for me is your number 4, Kristen Dunst. I don't know. You said it all at 4. So, all right, your number 2.
My number 2. What can we say? It's Wonder Woman, but it's not Linda Carter. When you find out that this woman has played Wonder Woman, I don't like her as Wonder Woman, but when you find out where she came from, I'm not looking to get into a fight with her because she used to train with
I'm not
the
gonna look
with the
into a fight with her.
no, because she was trained by Mossad in the Israeli Republican Army.
Okay.
So she knows Krav Maga and like 8 other Israeli words. But she scares the living hell out of me. But she's
At
also
least you're
been
honest.
yeah. She's in the Fast and the Furious. She's been in a couple. My wife absolutely hates this woman, so she's going to be happy that I put her at 2, but she's going to be mad that I put her on my list at all.
Okay.
My number 2 is Gal Gadot.
Oh, okay. Did not even see her.
She was a big box too.
Okay. All right. So my number 1
I love
is.
Okay.
I just lost the page I was going to do for our list here. Oh,
Okay,
there it
that's
is.
fine.
All right. So my number 1 point guard, I believe for the Bad Boys in the NBA. I think he's got some rings. I think he could have more, but I think the Bulls kind of kibosh on that. And that's 1 Isaiah Thomas.
Yep, and not that Isaiah Thomas, not the Boston Celtics Isaiah Thomas.
No, not that Boston. No. All right.
Because if it didn't have his face, I'm like, okay, which one is it? So that tells you exactly what it is. It's the phrase that pays. It's the Boston Celtics Isaiah Thomas. No, it's my number 1 is your number 1. Did you ever watch the movie? What was it? The movie Hoop Dreams?
I believe I have.
Yeah, they talk about because the 2 guys that went to high school, one of the 2 guys that went to high school, I think it was AG, went to the same high school as Isaiah Thomas had gone to.
Okay.
And he was trying to get him into Indiana, and then for some reason he never got into Indiana.
All right. So NFL draft this past week. If you watched us on Thursday, you saw the first round at least, or our coverage of it. I got the top. I'm going to go top 10. Actually 11, but I thought I cut it off because there was a tie. Of the grades by USA Today, and
Wait,
I'm guessing this is for the full rounds. It doesn't really specify, but at number 11, tied at number 10. So
10. Okay.
all right, so 10-10. So the first 10 at 11, they got a B plus for the Houston Texans. So they upgraded, I guess.
They didn't have a pick in the first round, did they?
So this must be overall then.
Yeah.
So let me just. Sorry here, ads.
I had to think if they had a pick in the first round, but they didn't.
But after coming out their draft last year, I believe they got A plus. They come back with the B with not having a first round pick. So that's definitely going to be. And the thing is their off season. I'm going to give their off season A plus because
oh gosh,
you go out to get Stephon Diggs and give up nobody for it.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think they had a third. I think their first pick was a third round pick.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Number 10 also had a B grade. The Green Bay Packers. I think a lot of Packer fans are kind of up in airs on their first round pick. I know J-Mac was very
upset. Disagree. I think J-Mac
would disagree with Ace
Cooper.
Yeah. So
yeah.
All right. Number 9 with an A minus grade. The purple and gold Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, that's because I'm going to tell you right now. I'll tell you exactly the reason why they got an A minus. And we brought it up backstage. It was the fact is they got Dallas Carter. Granted, they jumped. Truthfully, now that I think about it, Dallas Carter may not have been there at 23. I think jumping up to 17 might have been a great idea.
Kind of what they're reading here is that they're kind of making it they gave him an A minus because of the Carter or of the Turner draft pick. It sounds like it would have been less if they would not have drafted him.
Oh, I think it might have been too. Now that did I say Dallas Carter?
A lot of people are that. So at number 8, also with an A- grade, the blue and white, the horseshoe of the Indiana Colts,
I don't.
Indianapolis Colts.
I think you get that because you picked up what's his name? Picked up the wide receiver in the second.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing that makes it big because he dropped so far.
and according to them, they got the best defensive defender at 15 in that Latu.
The defensive, the guy that should have retired.
And then they came up and got round 1 caliber receiver Mitchell at 52. So
yeah.
All right. So at number 7, also with the A- grade. I love the videos I've seen of this edge rusher. You put him alongside Donald. Whoo, the Rams' offense or defense line is going to be great, and that's their.
Donald retired. Donald.
Oh
retired.
Yeah, he did. That's right. He did retire this year.
Right, Donald may come back
I'd come back. I'd come back
looking at that kid. I remember seeing the highlights of that kid.
Yeah, they do say that Donald retired on their little clip here. So to beef him up and put another, I mean, that guy was just steamrolling over centers. He was taking running backs and tackling the quarterback at the same time. A- grade here at number 6. The Commanders with drafting Donald Jane Daniels at number 2.
Yeah,
picking up Luke McCaffrey with the 3rd round pick.
If he's half the talent, but the thing is, if he's half the talent of his brother, he's going to be I think the kid's going to be a stud.
Yeah. That's one thing I noticed in this draft. It was like father-son relations. The sons are now getting in, or the brother's already in the league.
There was a who was it that just had their great nephew? Hank Aaron's great nephew got drafted too.
Yeah. Number 5 at an A grade. I don't know why, but the New York Giants.
What are they saying the reason for that? Because
let's see. The Daniel Jones haters may not be motivated, but given the team was weaved to him contract, GM. Let's see. So the 1st round draft pick, Neighbors should be a solid field flipper asset. And then it looks like the 3rd round defensive player, Phillips, the corner, will compete against anybody. 2nd rounder maneuvers passed. So just kind of, it looks like the Minnesota's safety, Newbin, was highly thought after to be up there. So, yeah, it looks like just the maneuvering, and so pretty much what I'm taking is they're giving them an A for value, I think. Number 4, also at an A grade, with the new coach, a new offense because they got rid of everybody, the LA Chargers.
Yeah, they got everybody.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think a lot of us were thinking that at that point they were getting ready to trade Herbert out too. At that point, because they traded everybody, and I figured they were going after McCarthy just because of the system.
Yeah. So pretty much that's what they're kind of pulling in here with the Chargers, is that they just, went offensive tackle at Alt, who I did not know was from Minnesota.
Yeah.
I did not know that. My son actually pointed that out, and I think you guys laughed at me because I said, "Oh, he's from Minnesota." My son's like, "I told you that, Dad."
Because it was on, the funny thing is, it was on the screen.
I didn't even see it. I'm like, I honestly didn't even see it.
But yeah, his dad played for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep. That's a big boy there. Herbert's got some good protection there. And then then landing a receiver as 2nd round, then a linebacker in the 3rd, 4th. So that they got some, and then they're also talking about their 7th round receiver too, being father-son combination, Jerry Rice's son, Brandon Rice.
I know Frank Gore's kid went in there too somewhere.
Yeah. So at number 3, we got the Philadelphia Eagles, who again has made a big splash in the free agency market. They got an A grade. So yeah, so just
Did they
bring
end up
that.
drafting a center?
What's that?
Did they end up drafting a center?
I don't know. They didn't put that on here, but they're pretty much giving them A grade for it looks like their day 3 picks. Is from what I'm kind of gathering. Number 2. I know some fans might be upset with this one, but A+ grade for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, yeah, they went out and got the first round Fatu, Zach Frazier in the second round.
Right.
I don't think they really. To me, they didn't really deserve an A grade. I don't know who. This is again from USA Today. This ain't from C2C.
Yeah.
But I know there's going to be a lot of people that will agree with this pick, and I will honestly agree with this one too. If anybody should have got an A+ grade, it's the Bears.
Yeah. Their off season, between their off season and their like by getting Swift and by getting Keenan Allen, I'm like, you're just feeding
the offseason alone. I mean, outside of Houston, the Bears just were fleecing everybody.
Yeah, but they needed to.
Yeah, but the Bears to add Caleb Williams and then come back and get. A lot of people are saying the best receiver in the draft is Medusa. Yeah. Carolina's got to be kicking themselves. Wow. Yeah, and then their last one, and then even to add the punter in the late round. I was punter. Troy Taylor is a weapon. Yeah. So yeah, the Bears are gonna be fun to watch. So that's our list, along with our dates. Tim, I think next week we'll put it on the air. I think we do people from certain states. I think we haven't done that a couple times. So that being said, Tim, your final thoughts.
Enjoy doing this. Keep watching. I kind of want to steal stuff from Big Game James. Keep watching stuff on C2C. We got a lot of good stuff. Tonight we've got entertainment. No, it's James and Callan tonight. I know that it's entertainment.
Yeah, it's
after dark, late night.
Yeah, C2C After Dark or something like that. Pretty much it's kind of a sports take on kicking it / press row type thing. So,
but we've got a lot of great stuff. Don't be afraid to watch. Like we've said earlier, especially when it's scrolling down along the bottom. May 4th, we've got the 2024 Backyard Brew Games. If you're watching us on Facebook, click on those little stars. It helps us put these shows on.
Gives Tim's his Skittles.
Yep. No, not Skittles. M&Ms.
M&Ms. Yeah,
M&Ms. You're the one that offered them M&Ms. And please, if you have any show ideas, except for certain people, send us a message and we'll answer.
Yeah, I think definitely one show idea that I have, kind of like take off of Kids Say the Funniest Things. I think that's something that we'll have to do.
Isaiah says the
co-host.
Isaiah says the funniest things. Yep.
Yeah. Because honestly, I know my wife. If she hears that show, she'll tell you guys. I just said the funniest thing a couple weeks ago. So, we'll do that show down the road, probably the week after. But next week, when you join us, it'll be famous people born in a certain state. So, again, not from where they're from, which you guys would think, well, that's the same thing. Well, yeah, kind of
because we'll bring up one guy and then they find out that when we find out that he's not from the state, we'll bring up Marshall Mathers. Marshall Mathers, everybody knows him from being from Michigan, but he was born in St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. With that being said, again, Callan, and if I'm up, I might join the guys for C2C After Dark tomorrow. Sports Minute. You guys can see how well I'm not doing in the MLB Wheel of Death that Ace has come up with, where each division we get a team, and it seems like every year my teams have tanked all the time. It seems like.
Oh, you got the White Sox, huh?
Yeah. No, I got the Twins in the Central. We got to keep our team that we root for if we wanted to. But outside of that, I got the Rockies. I think the Cardinals. I think the only good team I have is Philly, which is in second. So,
and Ace, and of course, Ace has got the Brewers.
Yeah. So, yeah. But with that being said, keep checking us out on Deck has been on. Entertainment Hour, Kicking It. Tim's wife's favorite segment is at the end of that show. If you guys haven't watched it, it's movie review by Isaiah, which he's always bombed. I actually think he came kind of close with Romeo Must Die. He kind of got into where it was going, but outside of that, he typically just butchers the movie itself. So, with that being said, we'll see y'all next week on C2C Rankem. Have a good one.